Are you worried about the TikTok ban? Is your business going to be impacted? Or are you about to start your social media journey and you don't know which way to go because one of the most important platforms might very well disappear over the next few months? In this episode, we're going to go over everything you need to know about the TikTok ban and also some super important alternatives you need to pay attention to. Welcome to Land the Talk. I am Robin Nathaniel, TEDx speaker and social media leader with over 20 years of experience in all sectors, nonprofit, private, as well as public. And today we're going to actually dig into some social media related content. We typically interview a lot of our TEDx speakers and soon to be TEDx speakers, but this is a solo cast. So I'm about to jump in and just open the top off of my head and give you as much information as possible. So now let's get right to it. What do you need to know about the TikTok ban? First things first, the app will not automatically shut down. I think that's the biggest fear. People have this date of January 19th. Depending on when you are watching this episode, TikTok is probably still working on your device. So that's the first note that we're getting from reliable sources, that the app won't just disappear off of your phone. However, it will disappear if this ban goes all the way through. It will disappear from the App Store. So if you're watching this before January 19th and you've never experienced TikTok, you might want to just download it while it's still available in the app stores. One note that I want to share with you around the idea of the app leaving your phone. Some people are saying on the internet, on TikTok and some of these other platforms, that ByteDance, who is the parent company of TikTok, is going to play hardball with the United States. And what does that mean? They're saying that come the 19th, if a deal can't be worked out where they can operate, they might just pull the plug on the app. So if you've ever been on an app that was malfunctioning, a lot of that stuff can be triggered by the people who own the app. So we hope that doesn't happen, but it is a possibility. Again, common knowledge in the space is that it won't be removed immediately from your device, but some people are saying ByteDance might play hardball. So pay attention to that. And this one is from the Wall Street Journal. This is a little quote I have for you. It says, "The new law doesn't prohibit the use of TikTok, but it requires Apple and Google to remove TikTok from their app stores by that date. Once pulled from the app stores, ByteDance won't be able to deploy software updates." So when the actual app is removed from the app stores, that means you won't be able to update it, meaning it might start getting wonky as time goes on and eventually it will become unusable. So you want to be really, really mindful of that. Another thing that the Wall Street Journal said, that there are workarounds. And this is something that if you want to, you can go this route. I know a lot of people are making money from TikTok, but most of the connections to your businesses, whether it's through being a creator selling products on TikTok Shop, or if it's you generating leads for your business, if you're being monetized directly through TikTok, I imagine those connections will be broken, but here's one of the workarounds that the Wall Street Journal shares. They say, one of the easiest is for US users to access the TikTok website from their mobile devices using a web browser like Safari. But that experience provides only a stripped down version of the video sharing mobile app. Another thing they say is VPNs, or virtual private networks, are another potential option, since they can make it seem as if a user is in a country where TikTok isn't banned. Such services usually charge a small monthly fee. VPNs let you route your traffic through one of those servers. Another thing that the Washington Journal here, the Wall Street Journal, my apology, the Wall Street Journal didn't share here, is that some people are changing their actual location inside of the app. So you can go into the settings on TikTok and let them know what region you're in. And some people are saying, hey, change that. I don't think that's going to work, but that's what some people are saying. Struggling to find time for social media? Unsure how to make it work for your brand? Do you feel like you're getting left behind? Guess what? We help busy leaders like you take the guesswork out of social media. From full service solutions and fractional strategy support to award-winning video production and quarterly audits, we handle the heavy lifting so you don't have to. Imagine having a social media presence that drives results without sacrificing your time or energy. We're only accepting a few clients this year, so don't wait. Visit bit.ly/Robin for hire to hop on a free call to see if we'd be a good fit for each other. Again, that's bit.ly/Robin for hire. Now, I know what many of you are here for. You want to hear about the alternatives. So I'll start with the alternatives that people know and love. And at the end of this episode, I'm just going to give my recommendation on what you need to do for your business or personal brand moving forward in the age of the TikTok ban. So the first platform that you want to prioritize is YouTube. Like, somebody asked me years ago, what platform do you think is the most important and will be over the next 7 years? I believe it's YouTube. And with the introduction of YouTube Shorts, I believe this is an opportunity for you to shift your efforts over to YouTube if, in fact, you want to continue to produce short form content. Excuse me. So for me, number one is YouTube. Number two is surprising here. And I'm probably, this might not be a popular opinion, but definitely for people who are in my community, people who are on my list, people who listen to this podcast, you are likely a leader of some sort at your organization, or you're a founder, CEO of your organization. Maybe you're a public speaker, right, with a specialty. So personal brand is really important, but also connecting with clients that can actually afford you, but also need and want your services. And this platform is popular for folks who have that need. I'm talking about LinkedIn. Let that sink in. So I think you could definitely move some of that video content, the short form content that you've been creating, over to LinkedIn and get the kind of engagement that you're looking for. Now, you won't have, most people won't, right, have that like viral hit that you'll have on TikTok. I'm looking back at some of my old content now, and I realized I had a couple of million view videos. I had one video hit 2.1 million, another one hit 1.9, and multiple videos that hit 500,000 or more. That's not going to happen on LinkedIn. There are very few creators who actually produce those kind of numbers, but for LinkedIn, you got to think about the quality of the viewer. So you getting, let's say, 50 reactions on a post on LinkedIn could probably equate to you scheduling a meeting with a potential client or actually securing a sale. So where on TikTok, it's really about awareness and visibility. On LinkedIn, it's about building relationships with people who might very well turn into clients someday. So for me, I'm all in on LinkedIn for 2025. And that was before this information about the TikTok ban. Number 3 on my list is Facebook. Now, I'm not trying to spend time on Facebook. I just think that Facebook, especially Facebook Reels, are getting a lot of push right now, but I'm kind of out on Meta overall. The next platform that I'm looking at, number 4, is Instagram. Again, I'm not big on Instagram these days. One of the things I was telling someone recently is that I don't like how they always telling you what to do. Huh? Like with TikTok, you never would really hear a TikTok employee come online and tell you, hey guys, what we're doing now on TikTok these days, we're looking for videos that would be horizontal videos. That's what we want to do. Or we want to make sure that when you see a video that you like, you comment, like, and share it, and that will help your videos to grow. Like, you never hear a TikTok employee or a TikTok leadership member, like the CEO, doing that. On Instagram, it's the total opposite. And they're dragging you every single which way because they're copycats. So Instagram CEO is jumping on and telling you, hey, make sure you spending more time in the DMs because that's how you generate true engagement, and that's what the algorithm wants. Like, don't tell me what the algorithm wants. Huh? One of my guys said, you are the algorithm. Don't sit here. They'll drive you crazy because one day he tells you to do that and the next day he tells you to do something. So I'm staying away from Instagram just because I don't have the bandwidth to deal with like begging for engagement. I just want to create freely and have an algorithm that will support feeding it out to people who are interested in what I'm creating. And I think LinkedIn is doing a pretty good job of that, and I think YouTube will as well. I think Instagram is just super flaky and I'm out on it. The next one is a group of social media platforms. So this would be 5 A, B, and C. So 5 A, B, and C, X, Threads, and Blue Sky. X is rolling out their brand new media tab. If you didn't hear about it, it might be on your phone now. If you look on the bottom of your X feed, you'll see a little icon for media. And it provides a TikTok style feed. But even if you go to the For You feed that you have now on X, it's already feeding you content like TikTok. It's just that some of the content will be still images, some will be video, and some will be text only. But it's feeding you the content like that already. So for me, I'm very interested to see what happens with X, Threads, and Blue Sky. So I'm actively creating there. And if you want to get really fancy, you can use a social media management software like Hootsuite or Later or Buffer, and you can actually combine all 3 of your platforms. So when you tweet or send an X post out, it'll go to all 3 of the platforms. I'm not sure if all of those platforms actually support Blue Sky, but most of them support X and Threads at this point. I do know that Buffer supports all 3. Next on this list for number 6 is Snapchat. Again, not crazy about Snapchat. I think that it's a little all over the place for me, so I'm not interested really. And then last place is Pinterest. For my audience and for folks who are consuming the type of content that I create, again, most of them are in leadership positions, trying to get on more stages and trying to lead their team in the right direction. I think that Snapchat and Pinterest just aren't the sites for it. This is going to blow your mind. Data from the U.S. government's National Child Abuse and Neglect Data System found that over 3 million child abuse cases are reported every year. That's why we are supporting MOSAIC Georgia. MOSAIC provides support to children, youth, and adult victims of sexualized violence in all forms. They provide free, confidential support and services to victims, families, and survivors of sexual abuse and assault. Legal, medical, and counseling, they provide it all under one roof. But they can't do it without support from people like you. Visit bit.ly/donate to MOSAIC today and make a donation. Your generosity can save a child's life. Now I want to talk about the alternative options to TikTok that maybe you're not as familiar with. And I'll start with a little disclaimer. I was watching Yahoo Finance the other day, and they had a social media expert come on, and the social media expert recommended the usual suspects and then started talking about sites or apps that aren't even active anymore. She started talking about Byte. If you don't know about Byte, Byte was a platform that was active a couple of years ago. They were created by the former founders of Vine, and then they were bought out by an app called Clash. If you go onto the internet now and look for Clash or Byte, it is a hot mess, and if you find it, drop it in the comments somewhere, because it's crazy that people are on national television right now giving bad information to folks like you. So that's why we're here, and this episode is super important. So let's jump in to these alternatives that are not so well known to replace TikTok. First one, and this one is number 1 in the App Store right now. It is going crazy. If you haven't heard about it, it's called Red Note. Now, Red Note is made by a Chinese company, so there is some conflict there. Maybe in the future it might be banned, but I would say that I jumped in and tried it out, and it seems very comparable to TikTok. And there is a movement right now on TikTok where people are migrating over there, so it's definitely worth checking out. I would say if you have any concerns around privacy, that's something you have to keep in mind, that the U.S. government banning TikTok, a lot of it was rooted in privacy reasons. And with Red Note, you would definitely be giving your information to a Chinese company. So if you're comfortable with that, then I would definitely try it out. The next one is a Black-owned company, one that I'm really high on. I'm talking about Fanbase. Fanbase. One thing that's beautiful about Fanbase is that you have the ability to import up to 1,000 of your TikToks. So I've been a user of Fanbase, but I started a new account and I tried that migration and it's still loading. So I don't know how long it takes, where the videos pop up, but I would say that that is a very interesting selling proposition for you, like when you think about which app you want to try out, because you can carry over some of your TikToks if you're an active TikTok user. The next one is another popular one. And again, I'm going in order of the ones that I think will be the most relevant in the next few years. So I'm going Red Note, Fanbase, and number 3 is Flip. Now, Flip is a platform where there's a lot of online selling, but I think people are also creating content just so their community can connect with them. So I haven't been active on Flip, but I'm going to definitely download that one. I have downloaded Fanbase and Red Note. Number 4 on the list is Lemonade. Now, Lemonade is going to be a nice short-term solution. It is a ByteDance company. So it's owned by the same company that owns TikTok and CapCut. So there will be the ability to connect your TikTok to Lemonade and get some of your content over there, I believe. So in the short term, it might work. However, I think long term, if they're going to ban TikTok, if they're going to ban CapCut, eventually this ban will likely impact Lemonade. So I wouldn't pour too much into Lemonade. If you are testing out all of the platforms, I do think it's worth kind of messing around with it, but I wouldn't put all of my lemons, if you will, into that basket. And I'm going to stop sharing numbers now. I'm going to just kind of go through the list. The next one is Triller. Triller is an app that I'm very familiar with. It started off really as a music TikTok clone. If you guys are familiar with the versus battles with Swiss Beats and Timbaland, this is a platform that was partnering with them on that. And Triller also, like Lemonade and like Fanbase, will provide you the ability to migrate your content over. I do believe with Triller, though, there's a separate app that they created for you to do that. So I wouldn't, again, Triller's been around, so I think it will be relevant, but I don't think it's going to be able to replace TikTok. Clapper is the next one, and it is another TikTok clone. Clapper is kind of like the right-wing political version of TikTok. It allows a little more freedom in terms of what people can do and say. I've definitely been active on that platform when it first came out, and the user experience is a little clunky compared to TikTok, but definitely something, especially if your position is a right-wing position, it might be a good place for you to hang out. The next one is not so good, but I'm going to still shout it out. This one is called Blaam Fam. That's BLAAMFAM. And the reason I say Blaam Fam is not that good is because I had the most difficult time trying to create my account. So I have it on my device right now, but I have not had the ability to sign in. It's just been kind of messy. The next one is the Spill app. Spill is a little different than TikTok. It's almost like X meets TikTok a little bit, but again, not one I'm very high on. And then there's We Kinfolk. Again, We Kinfolk is not one that I'm super high on. There's another one with a live feed only. Well, this is really interesting. So it's like you can't create the content and just post it or draft it. You actually have to go live. This one is called Likee. That's Likee. There's another platform called Favorites that I haven't had a chance to check out. And the last one is currently in beta waitlist mode. So we're waiting for it to roll out. I am on a wait list, and that one is called Neptune. That one's called Neptune. So that's a list of all of the alternative TikTok applications that I found for you. This is a huge list. I'll drop some, I don't know if I'll be able to drop links to all of them, but I'll definitely type out the names if me pronouncing them was off to make sure that you guys can find them easily in your app store. So again, before I give you my recommendation on what to do next, this is what you need to do once the app is banned. It's going to be banned, removed from the app stores. So you want to make sure that if possible, you use one of these migration platforms to download all of your content. So if you can download your content, that would be great. There are tools out there that would allow you to do that. But if you could find an application like Fanbase that can help to make the migration process a lot easier for you, I would recommend that. So now what's next steps? I've been on the hilltop since I started my journey of building my business and starting my business. On the hilltop, telling people to start an email list and stop operating on rented land. What do I mean? When we go to a Facebook, Instagram, Meta, any Meta platform, TikTok, YouTube, essentially, we're inviting our audience to hang out in a building that we don't own. So if the landlord of this building, in this case, TikTok, closes up shop or decides that they don't want us to live in that house anymore, we have to leave. We get evicted. And what happens? In most cases, you can't take everything out of your house if they come and tell you got to go. You might be able to grab a few things. So some people might migrate over from TikTok to a fan base. They might migrate with you and come over to the new platform that you're hanging out on if you go to Red Note. But how many people are you going to lose? The only way to guarantee that you don't lose contact with your community, with your followers, with your subscribers, is to build a freaking email list. And if you want to go above and beyond, then what I would do is also build a phone list. Name, email address, phone number. You could build out your email capture to get those 3 bits of information. And now I can call my people, text my people, email my people. That is what I would recommend. So if you haven't done it, take this as a wake-up call. That is the great news about the TikTok ban, that is going to force so many of you to decide on shifting your approach to building an audience. You can't build an audience on rented land because it's not your audience. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the platform. So that would be my big picture recommendation. In terms of these platforms where I would create, I would test them all and find out where you enjoy spending time. But I would prioritize YouTube and LinkedIn. I would prioritize YouTube and LinkedIn. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us know in the comments wherever you're listening or watching to this episode if you want more content like this. Talk to you soon.